Welcome to True Vine Ministries talk show, a place where faith, hope, and love abides. I'm your talk show host, Pastor Rhetta Jackson-Fair. Today we have a great show planned for you. Today we are going to have two guests on. One is named Katrina, First Lady. She is the organizer of the Toms River, New Jersey protest. And our second guest is named Traci. Traci was one of the Toms River protesters as well. So stay with us. We are going to be talking about everything from arranging a peaceful protest to what these ladies would like to see done in the future to continue to eliminate racism and racial profiling, not only in Toms River community, but all over the world. Stay with us. We'll return in a moment. Hello, my name is Pastor Rhetta Jackson-Fair, and I am the senior pastor of True Vine Healing and Deliverance Ministries. I would just like to invite you out to True Vine if you're looking for a church home or a church family. True Vine is truly a place where Jesus is the true vine and we are the branches. It is also a place where much fruit is produced as we remain in Him and Him in us. We are located at 1 South Main Street, South Toms River, New Jersey. Come on by. Welcome back to our show on today. Joining us, I have two beautiful guests. I have Katrina, First Lady, Toms River, New Jersey protest organizer. Welcome to our show, Katrina. And also I have Traci Rocco, one of Toms River protesters, correct?
Yeah.
Thank you, ladies, so much for coming on our show today. So, as I stated before, today's show is going to be about putting together a peaceful protest. We know what's going on in our society on today with the Black Lives Matter movement, as well as justice for George Floyd. So I want to start with you, Katrina, because you have done something that many were not able to do. You've put together a peaceful protest. And so I want to start out by asking you, how did you get the name? I'm just curious of Katrina, First Lady.
Well, my name is Katrina. That's my mother's giving me that name. And First Lady, I gave that name to myself for the fact that I'm hard-headed. I don't like to listen to anybody. I like to do things on my own. And I think that's kind of the reason why I got in trouble a lot. I never wanted to listen. And I felt as if I'm my own government. I'm my own president. I say what goes, how it goes, and how it's going to be. That's the woman's job. We run everything.
Yes.
So that's how I got the name First Lady.
Okay.
I come first, second, third, and anything. Besides my kids. Of course, they come first.
Amen. So Katrina, First Lady, there we have it. There we have it. So tell us a little. So you both are Hispanic?
I'm Italian and Greek.
Italian and Greek, and Katrina, you are Hispanic. Okay. I'm going to ask both of you this question, starting with you, Katrina. Tell me a little bit about your upbringing.
I grew up really rough. I lost my mother when I was 9. I did go into several programs from the age of 12 to 17.
Okay.
It was hard, but I never gave up. I fought a good fight until I graduated. I had my children. I'm still fighting a good fight, even for them, for their future, and for the little bit of time that I have left with them.
Yes.
It's a fight that I will continue to fight.
Yes, yes, and then sorry about the loss of your mother,
yes,
but it's making you a stronger woman, of
mm-hmm.
course.
And learning so much more about myself in these 20 years alone without her. I've learned I have so much of her qualities. My mother was, even though she was 4'9", she was like 7 feet tall. And she was very well respected in the neighborhood, in the community. And a lot of women that grew up with her come to me and they tell me, wow, you have the same passion that she did for just wanting to be heard and
yes.
wanting to just set a difference in anything and everything. My mother was very family oriented,
yes.
and with the community, and that's exactly how I am.
Yes.
I want a big family. I love for the family to gather around, the community, just, just love everybody, peace and
yes.
together, enjoying the moment, enjoying life, as our ancestors did. They didn't have TVs and radios.
Yes, right. That's
no, we got outside and
right.
did things actually
yes.
together.
Right.
Yes.
Together, and that's where we need to bring it back.
Yes.
We need to bring that back. I remember waking up 8 o'clock in the morning just to go play kickball till 8 o'clock at night.
The little
We never wanted to be inside.
Yes.
Now it's like
things.
you gotta fight the kids to go outside because they're
yes.
stuck on YouTube or video games, and it's time to change.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
No.
I believe you have a lot of your mother qualities. And the same thing for you. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing.
I'm from Jersey, but I grew up mostly in Milwaukee.
Okay.
Single mother. She worked a lot. So I had a lot of free time on my hands to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Similar, I learned from my mistakes, and I think that that's why I've become the person I am. I used to regret the things that I've put myself through,
yes.
and realize that if it wasn't for those things, I wouldn't be where I am now.
Yes.
Now I'm a nurse. I work in addiction and I work in corrections. I have a son who is biracial, and I do a lot to make sure that he knows his heritage, that he knows the struggles, that he knows the oppression. I'm very active. That's actually how me and her, really got into a conversation and that I wound up protesting with her.
Yes.
So I have it was a rough, upbringing. My mom did the best she could, and I think that she did a great job. She was a strong woman, and she, work ethic is definitely in my strength of just kind of pulling myself up by my bootstraps.
Yes.
Yes. Being very strong. So I think that's what's got me here now, and that's what I'm trying to teach my son.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you both for sharing that. Would you say that your upbringing, starting with Katrina, played an important role in giving you the passion to organize the protest?
It has. It's played a major role. Being alone in those programs,
mm-hmm.
Christmas time, other kids got to go see their families,
yes.
and just being there alone, if it wasn't for my mentor, I don't know what I would have done.
Yes.
And having a community together, it takes a village.
Yes, it
to
does.
raise the children.
Yes,
and
it does.
If I can't have my own family,
yes.
I can create my own family, even if it is within my village.
That's right. Thank you so much for sharing that. When we return, we're going to allow you to answer that question. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment. Hello, my name is Pastor Rhetta Jackson-Fair, and I am the senior pastor of True Vine Healing and Deliverance Ministries. I would just like to invite you out to True Vine if you're looking for a church home or a church family. True Vine is truly a place where Jesus is the true vine and we are the branches. It is also a place where much fruit is produced as we remain in Him and Him in us. We are located at 1 South Main Street, South Toms River, New Jersey. Come on by. Welcome back to our show. Once again, joining us is Katrina, First Lady, as well as Traci Rocco. So, Traci, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Katrina before the break. Do you feel that your upbringing played a vital role in you wanting to be a part of the protest?
Absolutely. Mine's kind of a more unique story. I grew up with a stepfather who was extremely racist. I knew every derogatory term there was for a black person. He fought with a black cop when he got pulled over when I was younger.
Okay.
By the time my father got into his 50s, he was a completely different man.
Okay.
Completely changed. He started going to church. He was no longer racist at all. He apologized for all of those things. Growing up in Milwaukee, which is a predominantly African American area. It's a very big city, similar to Chicago. I was the minority in my neighborhood. I was the minority in my high school. So I saw a lot, I think very young, that most white females don't get to see, you know, coming up in different areas. I've always lived in urban areas, so I have a different outlook than I'd probably say most of my white counterparts, you know, who have not seen that. But I think the most was seeing my father be able to go from being this hateful man.
Yes.
And by the time, my father unfortunately passed away a week after I had my son 13 years ago.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you. But he was so proud. And me having a mixed son was not, had you told him that 20 years ago, he would have disowned me.
Yes.
And if somebody like that can have a change of heart and can start to see more, look at human race and, you know, not just race as far as color, looking at it as humanity, human race. Forget color, just being a good human being. You know, these things are unjust and cruel. And I think that played a big part in how passionate I am now, besides the fact that I have a son.
Wow.
Who I have to prepare to be in this world.
Yes, yes. So talking about total transformation, and I can see, you know, how that can give you a passion to fight for equality for all.
Definitely.
Yes, and I'm glad that you were able to experience that transformation with your dad. So let's delve into the actual protest. Now, how in the world did you get such a diverse population of people? We are talking about black, white, Hispanic, Italian. We are talking about young, middle-aged, old, you know, just such a diverse population of people to come together for this peaceful protest.
Honestly, I didn't think one person was going to come.
Wow.
I didn't. But I had faith in Toms River and growing up in Toms River. And I know some friends that had interactions with the police and with the racism and everything. So, unfortunately, I never experienced that.
Okay.
I did experience other things, but not as much as racial profiling or none of that, or just me being a female. I never actually got to experience that. So I had more faith in my community and the Toms River Police to where we can all do this as adults the right way. No drama, no nothing. No, we're here to state a message, and that's it. You know, it's not, if the police did not want to stand down, it was a way to handle that. Not riot, it was a way. Thank God we didn't get to that point. And God blessed everybody to be there at that time, on that day, to be the message to come out exactly how he wanted it to. With love, peace, and everybody just to be together. I mean, even after the protest, just to see the kids and the adults, all different ages, races, dancing together and laughing together and pushing for this change, I'm like, wow, this is really going to happen, and it's starting right here.
And it did happen.
It did.
Now, did you stress for a peaceful protest as people began to contact you all and say, you know, I want to be a part of this? Did you stress that?
In the beginning, I was scared to even start the whole thing. I had my friend Eric, who was one of my photographers there. He talked to me, you know, and gave me some information, and some of his partners, like, you know, I'm like, okay, but me being hard-headed,
Mhm.
I still did what I wanted to do. In 3 days, I managed to do it. I started off sending the flyer through Messenger on
Okay.
Facebook, just to keep it private because I didn't want Antifa. I didn't want for people to come there
Most
thinking
certainly.
it was, oh, riot this, no riot that.
Yes.
Even though it turned out to that,
Yes.
I stayed professional. I stayed okay. Once I realized you contacted me, and
Yes.
so did Action Together New Jersey,
Yes.
saying that they were on my side. That's when I knew right there. I was like, let's make the event page and let's go from there.
Amen.
And from there, once the page just went viral,
Yes.
and I mean, everybody was saying it was Antifa and this and that. I'm just
Yeah.
like, God, please compose
Yes.
me.
Yes.
Even the morning of, I'm like, I didn't sleep that night.
Yes.
The day before, I couldn't sleep. Kept rewriting my speech and ripping up papers and rewriting my speech.
Yes.
But it happened.
And it was successful.
Successful.
It was successful. Now, Katrina, do you consider yourself an equal rights activist or an equal rights leader?
I consider myself both.
Okay. And what about you, Tracy?
I would say the same.
Okay, and I would say the same, definitely. Just, watching everything that you ladies put together was so amazing. I just want to testify a little bit about what Katrina was, talking about with the diversity, and the unity, even after the protest was supposed to be over, for 2 hours.
Yes.
And we were out there partying. We had a musician that showed
A
up.
DJ, yes.
I had a table set up, and we started out with a couple of bags of chips and water, and then you had people donating pizzas, and we had a feast out there,
Yes.
in a shopping plaza parking lot. While protesting and after protesting, to me it was just the biggest day of unity that I had ever
Yes.
experienced. It was much more than a protest
Yes, it
to
was.
me. And even now, just talking about it, I still get a little teary-eyed. But moving forward, when we come back after the break, I'm just going to ask you both a few questions about what changes you would like to see going forward. Okay? Stay with us. We'll be back right after this. Hello, my name is Pastor Rhetta Jackson-Fair, and I am the senior pastor of True Vine Healing and Deliverance Ministries. I would just like to invite you out to True Vine if you're looking for a church home or a church family. True Vine is truly a place where Jesus is the true vine and we are the branches. It is also a place where much fruit is produced as we remain in Him and Him in us. We are located at 1 South Main Street, South Toms River, New Jersey. Come on by. Welcome back to our show on today. Once again, we have the organizer of the Toms River protest, Katrina, First Lady, and we have one of Toms River protesters, Traci, with us. Once again, ladies, thank you for staying with us for each of our segments on today. And we are going to continue on the topic of organizing peaceful protest and the results that come from organizing a peaceful protest. So Katrina, I just wanted to ask you, or the both of you, what kind of changes would you like to see going forward? Because apparently the protest was just the beginning.
The main change is action. Action meaning parents, communities, police officers, everybody in the community really need to get together and make change.
Yes.
Because you can't wake up and it's already changed.
That's
you have to
right.
make it happen. And that's where we fall into play. Some of my team members couldn't be here today, yet we have a big organization we're trying to get together as far as we don't even care where we started from.
Yes.
We can do it from each other's homes.
Yes.
As long as we can get parents and organizations, churches, police officers to involve themselves in this, we can do it.
Yes.
And getting the kids outside.
Yes.
Together.
Yes.
Together. Because that's the only way they're going to learn how to accept one another for human, not just for color.
Yes.
Because we are in this world together.
So interacting together,
Yes.
interacting. And same question for you, Traci.
Definitely on a higher level as far as training and testing of the officers, following up. This is something that we've spoke about, them following up on a yearly basis.
Yes.
Because, from the community side, obviously what's gone on has been horrific and inhumane. But do we ever take in consideration, not all officers are bad, but what they go through on a daily basis? Is somebody checking in on them?
Yes.
So I think that a lot has to happen from so many different angles in order for, there to be change.
Yes.
And this time I think with the diversity and the protests and people having voices who always stayed quiet before, I think that this will be the time we really see a change. Most
certainly. So interaction between the community, young, old, black, white, Hispanic, through the entire community is what you all feel that will bring forth that change of getting to know one another, having an understanding for one another.
Definitely.
Yes. I've been watching all the different protests, and as I stated, I was glad and I was proud to be a part of our protest because it was peaceful and it was very effective and it will continue to be effective. But as I watch the news and I watch the different towns protests and I'm seeing the looting and the violence and some of the requests that are being made of the police departments are very valid. Things like defunding, definitely charges brought against any officer that commit a crime. I've even heard of them requesting the death penalty and equal rights and things like that. Do you think that what is being requested of the police officers is too little? And when I say too little, what I mean is that not many, when they're angry and when they're upset, look at the whole picture. For example, minorities are are the lowest paid, but the hardest working. No one is requesting higher pay. A lot of minorities have little to no health care. Not many are talking about, things like that. So my question is, do you think in the heat of the moment, the requests are just too little?
I don't think they're enough. I think they need to ask for more. I really do. As far as, what is it called?
Lower pay?
Yes. Lower pay. Just getting, why is the police more important than healthcare?
Yes.
When the nurses are there actually trying to make sure we're alive from the police officers just shooting us.
Yes.
When the nurses are in there, they're not looking at the skin of our color.
Correct.
They're not saying, "Oh, I can't take care of this person because this person is black," or "I can't take care of this person because this person is white." No. So why do the police have to come to a stop and address a person because of the color of their skin?
Correct.
In a different manner.
Correct.
Why?
Correct.
Why is that?
Yes.
It's not right. And I just feel like that, yes, we are asking for not enough.
Okay. And is that your thought as well?
I think that they're asking for what is immediate to the situation and not thinking of the whole picture.
Yes.
So I understand why they're asking for things they are, but definitely more needs to be asked for.
Most certainly.
I think that's, and as far as defunding, I think that city by city, they should have to analyze where the funds have been going and have they been used appropriately.
Yes.
I don't know enough to say yes, defund all the police. I think that you need to go with a fine-tooth comb and see where that money's going.
Yes.
And reroute that money to where it needs to go, whether it's education, whether it's more in the community, you know, resources between cops and community, things of that nature. So I think there has to be an overhaul, definitely, of the funding of our police. And like I said, I think that the immediate is what we're asking for. Right now, it's because of the police brutality. It's because of the prejudice and racism. And we're not thinking about the whole picture. So I think as time goes on, and that's why the movement is not done. Because there's so many more things to work on and to ask for.
Yes, thank you so much. Makes perfectly good sense. You prioritize according to the immediate need, and then you go back and you ask for more. Makes good sense. Well, in our closing, I just want to ask you ladies 2 more questions really quick. What would you like to say, if you can look into the camera, and if you had the opportunity once again to speak to police officers that believe in racial profiling, that believe in, treating people different based off the color of their skin or their gender or anything that's different, than themselves. What would you like to say to those officers?
Honestly, educating each other doesn't take no more than 5 minutes. Start there. Educating each other more and teaching each other how to manage every day, because we understand the police officers have a life of their own and they go through things themselves. Learn how to separate the two.
Yes. And then what would you like to say to the minorities in the communities who've been mistreated?
We've been mistreated for so long. We can't just give up. It's a way to do things. You can't fight fire with fire. That's not how you're going to be heard. Honestly, I would say start the correct way. Get the community involved. Show them how you can make change and how change is supposed to be. Because then everything from there, everybody will follow suit and climb aboard.
Amen. Same question. What would you like to say to the police officer, and what would you like to say to those in the community that have been mistreated?
The police officers, for the ones that do think that this is okay, all I can say is imagine it being your child, your mother, your brother. Just take that split second to put your family member in that position and how you would want them to be treated. And for the good cops who aren't speaking up, you're no better than the bad cops if you're not going to speak up and have a voice, because that's what you're there for.
That's right.
As far as the community and people who have been affected by this, we have to fight smarter. There's a lot of stereotypes, and when you, I hate to say it like this, but give them a reason or feed into those stereotypes, it makes them very hard for them to take us seriously.
Yes.
And that is something that I think that people were so quick to react. We don't take that second to be like, no, we have to be methodical about this. We have to, really show that we have worth. And I think that's what's happened in some of the communities, is that you've been oppressed so long that you don't even realize what you're worth anymore.
That's right.
So I think that's going to be a huge part of it, is knowing your worth.
Yes, well said, ladies, well said. I just want to thank the both of you so much for joining me today on the show. And I pray all of you that are watching that you have learned, what it takes to have a peaceful protest. You'll know your worth. If there's anyone that is racist watching, to understand that we're more alike than we are different. I have both of my sisters here with me, different colors of skin, but none the same. We know that we are equal, and that's what we have to understand in this society. We have to seek more to understand each other than to be understood, and not let our differences or fears separate us. So we thank you so much on today for joining our show, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place. God bless you. Welcome back to our show on today. We've had a great show speaking with Katrina, First Lady, as well as Traci. We learned so much from these ladies, and I was just moved by their enthusiasm and their passion, not only organizing the Toms River, New Jersey protest, but just their insight into what they believe our society needs to do moving forward in order to bring about change for equality for all. I especially loved when Katrina said that equal treatment begins in the home, and it is something that all of our parents should be teaching their children. I'm going to leave you with two final thoughts. Children are not born racist. And the second thought is there is no law that can change a man's heart. Only God can do that, and only God can make our country great. We thank you for joining us on today. Until we meet again, be well. God bless you.